Yo, what's happening guys, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat Like video. Today I'm going to be showcasing some battles sent into the channel by our good friend Fernando Lovebox, and I actually quite love that name. It's a pretty hilarious one. He's showcasing today Gallade, which got buffed with Psycho Cod, Cacturn, which got Sand Attack, and Hisuian Electrode in the back, which has a lot of great coverage, a really good coverage against the meta if you think about it. Grass and Electric typing. Definitely does very well into this meta with a lot of Skarmories and buffed water Pokemon, so should be quite interesting. If you guys want to submit some battles, I'm interested in showcasing like more meta teams usually, and some Pokemon that are quite good that have got buffed, so if you guys have anything like that, or even if you'd like some feedback on your gameplay, feel free to send that in the description down below. Anyway guys, let's hop into the battles. Once again, thank you Fernando, drop a like in the video, subscribe, and unfortunately, as we're picking up the battles here, the opponent has shielded up the nuke. We have 2-0 shields, and guys, Gallade with shields up is just an absolute nightmare for any opponent. The opponent comes into a Primeape. I also have to mention, this is a very cool looking shiny. Fernando must have gotten this during the Sinnoh term. We absolutely one-shot the Primeape, and back in comes the Tin Can here. Not quite the Tin Can we're used to. This is Bronzong, which did get Metal Sound this season. However, I don't think it's very good with Metal Sound. The opponent's on Confusion, but there shouldn't be any doubt here. We're going to absolutely one-shot it with the Close Combat, and that's a good game for the first one. Guys, I gotta say, I'm kind of salty. I'm a little bit salty. I don't have a Gallade that does not have Frustration. I've got a rank, I believe, 136. I believe it's a 6-15-15. I gotta say, man, I was in complete TM poverty during the last Rocket event. I barely got everything TM'd off. So unfortunately, I did not really expect a Gallade buff, and unfortunately, I did not manage to TM off Frustration. But guys, Gallade is looking super strong. Basically, guys, with Psycho Cod, it's one of the fastest energy generating moves in the game. We're getting to these Leaf Blades in 4 Psycho Cods. We're getting to Close Combats in 5 Psycho Cods. That is honestly absolutely crazy. The opponent comes into a Haunter here. This Haunter's about to get absolutely ripped to shreds by the Electrode. We decide to shield up the Shadow Ball. Not looking to debuff himself, Fernando goes for the Energy Ball here, which completely makes sense. We probably one-shot the Hunter very close to it. And the opponent's got a Tauros on the other side. I believe Tauros actually got banned, or not banned, I mean, it's not that good. It's not that good. It got buffed last season with Trailblaze. They went for a Horn Attack. I'm not too sure if I've ever seen that animation before, but in fairness, it's barely an animation. It just kind of like hits the Pokemon slightly. We're going to come into our Cactus Boy here. We're going to just Sand Attack this the whole way down. The opponent's going to come back in with Haunter, and we're just going to start Sand Attacking the life out of it. We're going to YOLO off the crunch. This will kill an entire generation of Haunters, and that's good games well played. And let me know your thoughts and opinions on Sand Attack in the comments down below. I do think it is quite nice for certain Pokemon, like Cacturn right here. I think even for Staraptor, it's quite a cool one, because Sand Attack with the Close Combat, and of course Fly, gives you really interesting coverage as a flyer. You've basically got coverage against Steel-type Pokemon, and in the case of Staraptor, you can hit them with Fly. One really big surprise to me is whenever I seen Sand Attack, the first thing that I thought in my head was, when I was a little kid, playing Pokemon Blue or Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Red, right? I went through Mount Moon, and I went up Nugget Bridge, and down came the rival with his Pidgey, and every single time, they debuffed with the Sand Attack. So I was almost absolutely certain that they would give it to Pidgeot, but so far Staraptor is the only flyer who's gotten it. Actually, today we'll do a bit of a different question of the day. What was your first ever Pokemon game, or how did you get into Pokemon? Let me know in the comments down below. The opponent still has the Skelevantula alive. It's kind of a bit of a pain here. They do go for lunge, that's going to take us out. Our Gallade is getting super low, but we still have a full health Electrode. Now we need to make sure to get this move off as soon as possible before the opponent reaches the next lunge. I'm pretty sure lunge would come very close to one-shotting the Electrode. Being grass type, we do take it out here. In comes the Greninja. The opponent's going to get to the move. We are debuffed. I think one Night Slash should not quite KO us here. I was expecting a catch. We're going to go straight for the Wild Charge. This is going to absolutely one-shot the Greninja, and that's going to be good games. So actually quite a good thing that he didn't go for the catch. Sometimes that is your lose con, but I think either way if he went for the catch, they only get 1 or 2 Water Shurikens for him, and 2 Night Slashes probably don't KO from full health, so I think that was pretty safe either way. Gallade into Bastiodon. Now this is an interesting matchup right here. Now the opponent's using a 3-turn move, we're using a 2-turn move. The opponent unsuccessfully goes for a catch, but we're going to throw the Close Combat anyway. I want you guys to look at the damage from Shadow Gallade onto a flyer. That's done like half of their health, guys. That's absolutely wild. Now that's not a match we can stay in for too long. Whenever Gallade's facing fast move pressure Pokemon, it just gets absolutely melted away, so you can't really stay in too long. What we do is build up to back-to-back Wild Charges here. We're going to launch the first one. I don't think this quite KOs. Oh, probably does from here roughly. I was thinking of Dubwool I was using quite recently with Wild Charge. 2 of them wouldn't have one-shotted the Altaria, however this is a different beast. Can we get to 1 more Wild Charge? We do. That's pretty nice chip damage. At this point guys, we do have a Close Combat loaded on the Gallade. We most likely come in, throw it straight off, and probably swap into Cacturn. If the opponent no shields, it's just absolute curtains for the Bastiodon. What do they decide to do here? They don't let it go, and the opponent does get off a move. We decide to put this all in the back of Cacturn. Okay, let's see how this goes. Cacturn with Sand Attack. Look at these sand attacks, absolutely rip this Bastiodon to shreds. The opponent goes for a catch on a Swampert. Ladies and gents, this is absolute curtains. This is absolute curtains for the opponent. Goodbye, Swampert. The opponent comes back into their donkey dinosaur. They're going for the move here, but this is just game over. We can sand attack it down, we can go for the move. You know what, I like it. For the move. Force them to sit and look at Bastiodon for longer on their screens. Good game, well played. Cacturne putting on a bit of a show there, absolutely one-shotting the Swampert, and of course taking out a 50% health Bastiodon. On this channel I mainly focus on meta Pokemon, but I do quite like seeing Pokemon like Cacturne getting some new moves and giving it a little bit more play in the meta. I think it's always nice when glass cannons get a little bit of extra play, and it is actually quite entertaining to watch. The opponent comes into, or the opponent's in here with a Grovyle. We're not going to debuff ourselves quite yet, we're going to go for Leaf Blade. The opponent decides to respect the move, and I think at this point, we're going to look to YOLO the close combat. If they let this through, this is almost certainly going to I was going to say almost one-shot, but it actually just one-shot them. The opponent comes into Drapion, which in fact got buffed with the Aqua Tail, and at this point we're going to build up to back-to-back wild charges. I'm fairly certain this would almost one-shot the Lapras. We might be able to find out here. We're going to go straight for this move, not messing around. We're going to keep as much health on the electric as possible, and we absolutely one-shot the Lapras as well. Back in comes Drapion. It Poison Sting the whole way down, and I think we can probably just come into Gallade and sacrifice it here at this stage. Yeah, the opponent's on bite, never mind. The opponent bites us the whole way down. We're going to go for the big close combat. This should absolutely one-shot the Drapion, and man, that game was just full of nukes. A very entertaining game there, and do let me know in the comments down below as well, apart from the Pokemon thing. Do you guys enjoy early season battles? Are you more fans of like sweating? Do you like playing Spice? Do you like playing meta? Do let me know in the comments down below. I would like to showcase a little bit more spicy battles on the channel. However, I think the audience here mostly likes seeing the sweaty meta teams, right? My channel is more focused on meta teams, improving gameplay, gaining elo and all that kind of stuff. I know Rise to the Occasion does a spicy Saturday, I think? Spicy Saturday or spicy Sunday? I think it's Saturday. Should I do that like once a week, you know, showcase a very spicy team? Let me know in the comments down below here. We've got a quite interesting match with Lickitung. We are going to go straight for the wild charge. Right here, I'm pretty sure we do live a body slam from that range, so it would have been a little bit better just to build up to back-to-back. Electrode is glassy, but Lickitung is bulky, it doesn't really hit too hard, so I think you definitely could have let that one go, and perhaps looked to get off back-to-back. We're going to come into Gallade here. We can't really stay in this matchup for too long. Licky just destroys this thing with licks. Look at the lick damage come through. And yeah, I mean, I guess shielding this is fine, but leaving Cacturne with no shields, 0 versus 2, is a little bit tricky. I'm assuming that they basically one-shot us with Moonblast. Is the opponent in Moonblast here? They're on future side. Okay, so we have a chance. Can we sand attack this the whole way down? Oh, the opponent makes a dying move. I think this should just be a grass knot. The opponent makes a final grass knot. That's just done way too much damage. This cactus just barely stood up to that grass knot. The cactus is not made of stern stuff here. But the looks of things, guys, they just have a little bit too much health. They've got 2 Pokeballs, they still have a shield, and yeah, we're going to struggle to get off enough moves. Good game, well played there. That was kind of funny. I can't believe how much that grass knot done from bulky Cresselia. And hopping into the next one, we have Gallade versus Licky. Man, these lick users are just not good for Gallade. Look at the licks go through. By the time we reach a close combat, we're already down to like 50% health. And of course with the... Oh, they just let it through! And they come in with a Slurpuff. The opponent's on Charm for whatever reason, so that gives us license to go for a big farm here. And we need to kind of get rid of this thing, because Charm is just bad news for this entire team. Rightfully so. He's not going to go for the Wild Charge immediately. You need to try and get off 2 moves. Will the opponent respect this one? They do. And this is such a tricky position because Gallade is just made of absolute paper. Oh no! Oh, we do get to the last second move. That is absolutely vital. We need this to do a lot of damage. Okay, it does quite a lot of damage, and we still have 2 shields with the cactus. The opponent will fire off what's most likely going to be a flamethrower. Or, yeah, play rough. Okay, fair enough. And we're going to basically sand attack the whole way down. The opponent comes into Gallade. We do have a chance here. These Dragon Tails are absolutely ripping us to shreds. We're going to go for a big payback. This should absolutely one-shot them. By the way, guys, I was calling it Crunch. Sorry, maybe it was Crunch earlier, or maybe it was Payback the whole time. In this next one, we have a Raichu lead. And the Raichu's on Charm. Yeah, I think right there. We're ABA weak to Charm, which is kind of unfortunate. And in these early battles, you're going to see all these sort of funny teams with like Charm, Raichu, and Pokemon that you don't really expect to have it. I think before we knew it, half our health was gone, and the Raichu's just here charming us down. The opponent looks like they're lagging, they let the energy ball go, but they do make it to a dying move. I do believe that this thing got... Oh, they've got the Brick Break. Okay, that's quite interesting. So they've debuffed their defense, which, you know, being a glassy Pokemon already, that's not what you love to see. We're going to look to probably go for back-to-back wild charges. We do just about survive that. I think right here you go for back-to-back charges, because I think you only get 2 of the... Okay, you actually get both of them off. That's absolutely fair enough. That was quite a good play because you can look to debuff their defense with the first move, potentially. So had we got the debuff, that would have done a lot more damage. Now the opponent's moves are resisted here except for Last Resort, which done about 65% to the Cactus. We're going to absolutely try our best and go for a massive catch here on the Gallade. I'm fairly certain even if I'll play KOs from here, yeah, Gallade is just super glassy, and of course so is this thing. The opponent comes in and snipes with the Sand Slash, and yeah, just not a whole lot we could have done there. Even had we have taken out the Umbreon, that Sand Slash in the back was just too much. The Charm Raichu just put in way too much work on that team. In this next game we have a Swampert lead. This is absolutely where you love to see it. 4 Psycho Cuts, Leaf Blade, 4 Psycho Cuts, Leaf Blade. You just heavily outpace the one-shotting move here. I'm fairly certain a Hydro Cannon would one-shot us, so we decided to go for a very nice catch on Electrode here. We have a lot of grass coverage on the team, which is quite nice, so Swampert basically just has nowhere to go. The opponent's actually staying in to throw another move, so they're sort of indicating that they might be weak to this in the back, or they do certainly want to get it lower. They come into a Venusaur. We're going to go for back-to-back wild charges here. Both moves are resisted. The grass move is double resisted, and as you can see, that wild charge on the Shadow Venu just done an absolute ton. Now we've seen 2 starter Pokemon. The opponent comes back in with Swampert. They decide just to completely sack the Venu, and we're going to come back in with Gallade. Once again, the pacing of this Pokemon is just absolutely scary. We shield up the Hydro, and we're going to see what the opponent wants to do here. This Leaf Blade, of course, will just, like I said, one-shot probably a Swampert and its entire evolution line. The opponent does get to another move here. We're going to respect this, and we're going to try to sweep this game with Gallade. Again, the opponent's not swapping out here. We're going for a nice overfarm, and in comes the Abomasnow. The opponent was trying to catch the resisted Leaf Blade, but they're about to catch the close combat. This will absolutely one-shot the Snowman, and back in comes Swampert. That's game over for the opponent, and you're just seeing like how oppressive this Pokemon is. If you can get Gallade lined up onto a Pokemon that's not doing fast move pressure, like that's not a Charmer, not a Dragon Breath user, not an Incinerate user, and have an opportunity to get a lot of energy and a bit of an overfarm, this Pokemon can just go to town here. Now what we're most likely going to do here is go for the Leaf Blade on, okay, one before they reach the Scald, and the opponent does still go for a very nice catch here. The opponent's buying to Mud Bomb, but I think right now it is time for the Cactus. These are resisted Confusions. Did you guys see how like 2 Confusions went for it once there? That looked super weird. The opponent thought there was only 1 grass user in this team, but little do they know, Cactus Boy's here as well. They come into a Bastiodon. Once again, as you've seen earlier, we're about to just go absolutely crazy on this thing with sand attacks. Does the opponent respect this? They might think it's just a Grass Knot. That done so much damage to the Bastiodon, and we almost even farmed them the whole way down. Now right here, the opponent might have just blind through a move. We're going to respect it. It could be the Flamethrower. That definitely would make sense knowing that we have Gallade. The opponent goes for an aggro swap. This should just be a Mud Bomb here, so we're perfectly fine to let this go. And I think what we should probably do is go for 4 and CMP. We do go for it just 1 before they get to the move, which actually gives us a chance to potentially go for a catch. The opponent is basically forced to overfarm because we've got an entire Pokemon in the back they haven't seen yet, and most likely we just let this Pokemon go. We go for the swap into Electrode. The opponent should go for Mud Bombs here, which will be neutral, of course, on the Electric and Grass type. The opponent goes for Scald, as if a Scald debuff is going to save them from the Energy Ball. We're going to respect this move. This could be a Mud Bomb. This will chunk a little bit, and it is just another Scald. The opponent comes back into Basti. They realize they're going to get farmed down, and that's going to be good games well played. I think if you're trying to use Gallade, I think it's actually a really strong Pokemon. I do think if you're trying to make a climb with it, you do pair it with some less glassy Pokemon. In situations like this when you've got Dragonair, you kind of do need a damage sponge on the team. It's kind of hard for us to swap out here. I think shielding back is perfectly fine. We most likely can get both shields off the opponent. Can we make it to the close combat? We do just about make it here. And I'm assuming at this point, we probably come into the Cactus. And, oh, the opponent lets that through. That's actually absolutely huge. We're going to aggro swap, not allowing the opponent to farm us down. I think when you're just on such low HP, you might as well just take the alignment. In my personal opinion, in the Great League, it is quite RPS at times. So if you're on very, very low health, and if the opponent's only going to get 1 or 2 fast moves, I think it's worth it just to keep the best possible alignment. In this case, I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I think he probably would prefer to have the Cacturn on this thing. You can look to go for potentially neutral piybacks here. However, Electro is putting a lot of work, and we probably will be just trusting in Cacturn to go for the sweep. We even get to a last second move, and I think at this point, the opponent really should be letting this go. Again, okay, so what I like there is that he didn't go for the aggro swap, giving us an opportunity to go for a catch. We do go for it immediately. On the Surf, I think the opponents are most likely to build up to at least the Thunderbolt. We're going to make a call here that the opponent doesn't go straight for it. They do go for the Surf. Thunderbolt would have came very close to KOing us there, and this will be just another Surf. Now what we need to do is basically get to 2 Grass Knots in time. Very, very nice timing. We throw 1 Sand Attack and then go for the move. This is going to be very, very close. Can we get to this in time? The opponent's going to be getting very, very close to the Surf, but we do make it just in time, and that's going to be good games. So nice timing there. I think had he not went for that 1 Sand Attack, he actually would have lost there. I think the opponent just died with the move, so good games there. When you're using these glassy Pokemon, every little bit of energy counts. Now in this next match we have a very, very interesting lead. The opponent goes for a catch into Snorlax. If the opponent lets us through, they're about to be catching that top left. The opponent does not respect it. I hate to call it too early, but that's basically game over for the opponent. We're going to swap out. We're going to look to go into the Electrode. Hopefully the opponent is not an Ice Punch. That definitely will hurt quite a lot. But we're going to call this move. It's just a Night Slash. And we're going to look to go for a Wild Charge. The opponent's been nuked once already this match. Are they going to let this one through? They do decide to respect this one. And we're going to try to get to it. We get to it on 1 HP. Absolute 1 HP in a dream. I'm pretty sure this would come very close to one-shotting from here. At this point, guys, it's 2 shield Gallade time. We're going to go for a CMP tie. The opponent plays 2 CMP that they do not win. This Leaf Blade will be taken out the Annihilate, and we're going to see what's in the back. They come in with a Lantern. This is curtains, folks. We come into the Cactus. We could have just went for Leaf Blade, but we're going to start throwing sand attacks. This animation is absolutely wild. It's like you're literally just throwing piles of gravel at the opponent. I gotta say, in recent seasons, Niantic's really stepped it up with the fast move and charge move animations. If you think about things like Xerneas, or as people like to call it, Disco Deer, things like Spatial Rend is quite a cool animation. Niantic are definitely making some very interesting looking animations for these moves now. In comes Galarian Stunfisk. This is a fantastic lead, and the opponent swaps into an Altaria. Once again, we don't have a direct answer to Altaria, so I think we're going to look to go for close combat here. The opponent actually respects it, probably knowing that a single resisted close combat will hurt an absolute ton, or perhaps they just didn't really know the moveset. We shield up the Sky Attack. It is neutral because we've got a joint electric typing, and we do most likely survive, but I think we just want to try to guarantee swap here. I am interested to see how much this does from this range. By the looks of things, we're going to land this Wild Charge. From double, this was doing like 40%, but that does quite a lot here from this range. Now, we can either let this go. Yeah, we're going to let this go. I'm not too sure how we get rid of this Altaria. Altaria is so awkward. It's just got all the wrong typings. Yeah, we have to go for another Leaf Blade. Once again, 1-turn moves just completely destroy Gallade. And that's going to take them out. The opponent will basically be forced to show us their third, but they come into Stunfisk. They're going to go for a Rock Slide here. Yeah, I like this. I think what we should look to do is build up to back-to-back moves and look to go for the close combat. We definitely could have overfarmed a little bit more there, but I guess you're trying to avoid the opponent from catching. That absolutely takes them out. As you're seeing, this fantastic guy here, Fernando, he's got notifications turned on for the channel, as you've seen in the top of the screen. Thank you, Fernando. And I'm guessing he just recorded this battle, and funny enough, he came into my stream afterwards and he said, "Yo, I've got some gameplay with Gallade, do you want it?" And here we are, folks. So yeah, big thank you to Fernando for that, and I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. On screen you can see our channel members and supporters. Big thank you guys, your support is very much appreciated, and thank you everybody who watches the videos, likes, comments, subscribes. It very much means a lot, and big thank you guys. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you do want to send in some footage, I do recommend asking me first, because if it is like a really spicy team, I may not showcase it, so I don't really want to waste anybody's time, but feel free to drop me a message on Discord, and I may be able to showcase some gameplay of yours. So as for Shadow Gallade, I think it's just so much fun. It looks really, really fun. Next Team Rocket event, I'm definitely getting my TM straight on that Pokemon. I'm going to hop in and start using it. It's super spammy. I think if you put it in a position where you've got some sort of bulky Pokemon with it, if you either put it in the lead or put it in a closing position with shields, I think this Pokemon is just so unstoppable at times. Even resisted close combat to an Altaria, which is a bulky Pokemon by the way, does like 45-50%. This Pokemon is crazy, and I do highly recommend checking it out. Thank you, Fernando, for the gameplay. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.